It's time to go down the rabbit hole. The ceiling fan man. You dig?
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the Fair Use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary.
A secret agent was getting his information for his next mission. He was to parachute in behind enemy lines into an empty field. Next to the field there'd be a road. He followed the road to a shed. Behind the shed there will be a bicycle. He was to take the bicycle and bike 10 miles to the nearest town, find the local tavern, go in there, and his contact will meet him there with more information. As he parachuted out of the plane the next night, the chute didn't open, and as he fell to the ground, he said to himself, I bet you there's no damn bicycle either.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. We made it again. Friday night. We did it. Whatever. We did it. We survived another week in this madness. and we did it with joyous noise, right? Where's my camera? Clickety click. Hey, everybody. Good to be seen by you all. And so I'm all alone tonight. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm not going to break out into my all by myself song. I've done that, and the crowd went wild. So maybe on another musical show. But I've got 1,000 tabs. I've got so much to talk about. I have no problem knowing that I'll be able to fill some hours of entertainment, and hopefully, well, Bill Cosby, can't really quote him anymore, but he used to do that show, that Fat Albert show, the cartoon, and he'd say, maybe you'll learn something along the way. So maybe we'll have some fun, we'll have some laughs, and we'll learn something. So anyways, how's everyone doing? We got like 56 on its way up. People are rolling into the room. So officially now, if you're just coming in now, you'll start to be tardy. So just keep an eye on that. Melanie is usually in charge of that. So, okay, maybe I overshot it with 1,000 tabs. Okay, I know. My father's told me 1,000,000 times not to exaggerate. I get it. Yeah. And let's see. And yes, I have that drop, DJ. Well, let's go with the actually better actor doing that drop.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
This brings a tear to my eye every time. That's just such good acting and scene, right? So yeah, so that's what we're just gonna hang out and we'll talk. And Colleen's trying to make sure she's not tardy. Okay, you're fine. We're good. What do you mean better actor? Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So oh, and Dizzy, you need prayers. Okay. So here's the thing. I wanted to talk about this kind of first thing because this show, even though obviously people tune in because it's entertaining and I appreciate that. I work hard at trying to make it enjoyable so that way you have something to do to make it seem like, you didn't waste a couple hours with me. So, or at least you wasted them and you had a good time. But for me, the whole reason I did this, I turned this camera on and started speaking all the truth that I was seeing. Was because God put in my heart that I had all this information and I can't just sit on it. I let it out. And then as it progressed, this channel, my spiritual connection progressed into where I got a way stronger connection and understanding of who God is and how our salvation is through Jesus. And so even though I don't press that a lot on this show, I do want to make sure that everyone knows that's where I am based in. I am doing a podcast. I've started recording some episodes of me discussing the Bible version. So I'll be doing that soon and putting it out. But for tonight, I wanted to say the reason that I do this show every night, or every Friday, I should say, is because it's not for the monetary gain, obviously. YouTube, just by the way, they demonetized last Friday's shows. What did I do? Like between the first one and the call-in, like how many hours? And they decided that there was things said in it that it's not suitable for money, which is interesting because they still throw ads on it. I don't know who gets it, but it's not suitable. So in any case, that's why I have donation links if you'd feel like it's in the descriptions and in the chat. But the thing that tells me why I'm doing this, there's a gentleman that I've been in contact, or who's been in contact with me for the last few years. And I've seen his struggles and his progression into where he was battling alcoholism, still is. And he was lost, and he would write to me, and he would write to me really nice letters. and then really angry letters because he was drunk, and he apologized for him later. But he and I kept in contact still constantly because I didn't want to give up on him, even if he said things. I knew that it was coming from some other demonic possession, I guess, through alcoholism, and things were looking up for him. He found God. This is all during the time that he and I started talking. He got baptized. He started reading the Bible. He started praying every day. He was making friends. He lives in another country, in the Philippines, so he speaks English, and this other gentleman that was his friend, his partner, speaks English, and they would go and they would help the impoverished children and teach them things. And the two of them would work together, and he was like his mentor and his best friend. And then that gentleman was taken away from him. He passed away suddenly, like a lot of people have been doing. And it broke him. And he wrote me a letter basically saying he's given up. He doesn't understand. He's done everything right. He did everything he was supposed to. And yet he felt like God's forsaken him. And he stopped praying. He stopped reading the Bible. He lost all of his faith. He tried drinking himself to death, and it didn't work. And so he's given up. And so these letters are tough, man. You know, when I started doing this, I had no idea. But people are many people are hurting. Many people are sick. Many people are alone. But no one will ever know it. And so this show became like kind of a lightning rod to that, which is part of what I guess I'm supposed to do. And let me tell you, it's one thing to like try to tell people, okay, this is why I believe we didn't go to the moon, or this is why I believe there's problems with the things going on in the needles and stuff. This is why I believe all these things. But I didn't know I was going to be tasked with someone that wants to commit suicide, and I have to come up with a reason to tell him to stop. And so this is directed mostly at that gentleman, but it's to anyone that's feeling this way. And so I go to scriptures. I'm like, okay, so why do bad things happen to good people? Why is this man hurting so bad when he did everything he was supposed to do? And I don't have the right answers. I don't have any answers. You know, you can ask God if he'll tell you. As far as why this gentleman had to leave my friend all alone. But the way I see it is this is the only way I can process it, okay? Is at that moment when that gentleman's life ended, that was some reason he had finished his path. And you can't understand why that's, you know, God's ideas there. But the fact that he left, now my friend has free will. He has a choice. You just read the book of Job again. That's one of my favorite books. It's the oldest book, supposedly. And when Job had everything, more than anyone ever had, really, and then it all got taken away, he never once cursed God. He never once forsake God. He never once questioned God. He questioned his own existence. He questioned what he had maybe done to deserve such a punishment. And all his friends and family and his wife told him, you know, forsake God and kill yourself and stuff. I mean, she was not helpful at all. And so finally, in the end, he gets in trouble a little bit with God because he's just like, well, can you just take me now? Because I can't fix this, you know. And but my point is this. I can't explain why bad things happen. I've had lots of loss like everyone else. And all I can say is this, is that you have a choice at that moment. And the devil or Satan or the evilness in the world whispers in your ear and says, see, all that prayer, all that, everything you did was for nothing. Because see, God forsakes you and walked away and killed your friend. And that's not coming from God. That's a deception. Because at that moment, when he lost his friend, that's when you're supposed to find comfort because you're grieving. And so you turn to your friend and you say, hold me, or your partner, or your spouse, your parent, hold me, I need help, I'm struggling. And so at that moment, that's you turn to God stronger. You cry out for Jesus and say, bring me comfort, I need it. That's what the Holy Spirit's supposed to do. And so all I can say to you is this, dear friend, don't give up, cleave to God. Don't turn away because a bad thing happened. That's part of the whole thing. They're trying to get people to turn away from God, and we need to cleave onto him stronger. In Romans 5, it says right here, therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, by whom we also have access by faith into this grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulations worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. And so that's what I'd like to present, is to say, you're shaken, well, to go along with the James Bond theme, you're shaken but not stirred, okay? Pick yourself up and cleave unto God and reach out to people like myself or other people around to get you through these times. Because don't forget, you're also helping. One of the things that Paul talks about more than anything is charity. And you're helping those children. And if you give up now, you're helping them. And they might need you. They do need you. So don't give up. Okay. So that's my little PSA. And may God watch over all of us and give us the comfort that we seek to get us through these struggles. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Let's see. Whew. It's warm up here, too. Got the fire going. It's really cold all of a sudden. I want to have a comment on here. Oh, yes. So dizzy. I hope that helps to you, too. Okay. And let's see. Let's transition from that. Okay. And that's out. So put that over there. All right. Let's see. Let me get rid of that tab. And for those of you that still are watching Sports Ball, the World Series is in the fourth inning, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are leading the Texas Rangers 4-3 in game one. And it's really interesting. I do have some tabs that connect to this thing here. Let's see what's going on. My computer's lagging. Okay, hopefully you're all back. Clickety click. We'll go here, and share the audio, and share. Okay, share. There we go. So this has happened today. I didn't see it live, but they said it was going to happen. Is that the baby Bush senior, of course, has passed away, or wherever the demons go, and he's the one. The older one was the one that threw out the first pitch of the World Series right after that event in 2001. And so now we fast forward to the 119th World Series, of course. You get your coding there of the backwards numbers. And, of course, they're not going to wheel out, the dad. So they got the next best thing for the ritual. So yeah, it's still blatantly in your face. You can't hide it. Just remember, baseball. No, no, update my email. Where'd it go? There. Baseball's an occult Masonic ritual where even most of the players aren't aware of their actual and the ritual itself, nor does the unaware. We get it. If you've looked into this, everything in our world has been set up by the same company, or whatever you want to call them. And what do we got? Bread and circus. So that way people don't see what's really going on. Got to keep them entertained. Oh, I did want to talk about this because we're going to talk about something about hearts later, but I saw an article that said that Heart, Nancy and Ann, I think, Wilson, were coming back in concert. And I swear I saw a story that she had died. And so I went on the internet and I found it in 2018. But no, this isn't any kind of weird Mandela effect, or maybe it is. I don't know. Because apparently what happened was the person that died was actually this Nancy Wilson, some jazz singer that no one's really ever heard of. And the whole internet went crazy thinking it was this Wilson. So whether or not you thought she was dead, she's not. And if you did think she was dead in 2018, most likely it was this. So they say. So just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, Ann Wilson's the lead vocal and Nancy is, backup and whatever. So she's still not dead. Just we're checking on that. Okay. And Melanie sent me this. Melanie, it's all your fault. So there's these cars in San Francisco they were testing out for a few years, I believe, called Cruise. And they were driverless cars, automated, to see how it goes. And apparently it's not going so well. They suspended their license and they're not going to be driving these things, at least for a while. And when I looked in the stories, apparently it's because, well, it had a lot of problems. Like this one lady, she got hit by a car and then knocked into the road. And then this thing drove over her because there was no one in it, and didn't stop. And even though it says may stop quickly. But so that was that. And then apparently there was another incident where someone died because two of these cars stalled and there was no one in them to move them. And the ambulance couldn't get out. So there's been a lot of issues with these automated cars. So we're not quite there yet. We're on our way. Yeah, it ran her over, Melody. Yeah, it did. It's ridiculous. Sad. Okay, so let's see. Let's go out of there because we're not ready to go with the Roger Moore stuff or the James Bond. So let me see. What do we have? We'll go to this. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of, we don't need that tab or that tab or that tab. Okay, so that's all the James Bond stuff. All right, so let's go up to that real quick. We'll go over here. Where did you guys go? Clickety click. And hey, Rockfin peeps, I see Freethinker over there. Good to see you. Got 4 people over there watching. Thanks for watching over on Rockfin. And I do want to take this moment. I constantly forget a couple of things. One is I have a pen pal. I haven't had a pen pal since I was a kid. And she, I believe, is in New Mexico and sends me really cool postcards. And this is my latest one. And I made a joke because she was writing jokes and they were all seemed to do about race. And then she stopped writing and said, "Don't be afraid to write me a joke. I was just kidding." But yes, thank you so much. This is so sweet. Who doesn't love going to the post office and getting this instead of a bill? So thank you very much to my fan in New Mexico. You're awesome. And I got some of your postcards back up there on the wall too. And I want to thank my friend David Beverly, who I had on the show. He sent me his book, which I've been reading. I haven't finished it quite yet. And I really appreciate that. And so appreciate that. And I wanted to mention, I said it on someone else's show, but I wanted to say it on this show. I don't know if Juan Torres is in the chat, but I have all of these, what do you call it? Drops. And one of them, and I don't even remember sometimes where I've gotten them from. And one of them, apparently, I forgot. It came from the movie The Exorcist, which, it's not a funny movie. It's a scary movie, obviously. And he was watching it with some people or his family. And there's a scene that came on where they were asking about, can't you just hire an expert? And it's one of my drops. And apparently in this scene, this real tense scene, when all of a sudden he comes on and says the line, Juan Torres, he started cracking up. And they all looked at him like, why are you laughing? Because he heard this in his head.
There are no experts.
Of course, it didn't have the music and the thing that I added at the end, but I thought that's funny. So like now, you can't run away from this show. Like you'll see a movie or hear something and it'll make you think of it. It's kind of funny. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And I do have one other thing that I have to mention that I thought is hilarious. I'm not going to out who it was, okay? But someone wrote to me and said that it was it was Friday night, and he said to his wife, he said, "Hey, honey, you know what tonight is?" And she said, "What?" He goes, "CFM," and and she thought it stood for "Come F me."
Boom, baby.
And so she thought that's what he was saying. So now we have a new code for that if you care to use it. I don't plan on using it on this show that way, but I do make that joke at home all the time, of course. I mean, how couldn't I? So where's my guy? I can't even find him. But he would out me if I wasn't telling the truth. Oh, he's gone. Maybe he left the show, him and his red eyes. Here he is.
That's very true.
See, you like that? Yeah, dirty fan, says Aaron. Yeah. But hey, isn't that fantastic? Yeah. So it's CFM tonight. It's changed the whole meaning, hasn't it? If I hold this up to my wife, is that going to mean everyone buy your mug now? You can go, "Hey, honey." Oh, shoot. And yes, you can buy a mug. I don't make much on them, but you can buy a mug if you want to join the group and have your "Come F Me" mug. This one.
Get rid of that old mug. It's garbage. You want to drink out of a Ceiling Fan Man mug. Brand new from Ronco. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Have you ever dreamed of going to space? Well, you can't because it's fake, but you can get your very own Ceiling Fan Man mug. Proudly made in the exotic land of China.
China.
Your Ceiling Fan Man mug can hold cold liquid, hot liquid, granola, the TV remote. It can even stop a door from closing. Get yours today. Each Ceiling Fan Man mug comes with a commemorative box. Ooh. Order now and become your own legend by ordering a Ceiling Fan Man mug today. And if you order in the next 10 seconds, we'll include show notes crumbled up and autographed by Ceiling Fan Man himself.
But wait, there's more.
Any orders of 66 or more will get an exclusive personalized NFT of Ceiling Fan Man eating cereal. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Don't be a loser.
Satellite tracking continues.
So, there we are. All right. What's next? What do we have for you all? La-di-da, la-di-dee. What do we have here? Oh, I did want to... we'll cover that in a little bit. When we get the show rolling more, let's see. Let's kill some more of these tabs. I don't have a million, but I have quite a few. So let's see. Clickety-click. We'll go over here. Now we want this one, and then this, and here, and here. Okay. So what do we have? That's all James Bond. So we'll go, okay, we got the crow thing. For those of you that are interested, I did do a crow episode. You can hear the first hour. It's right here. It's 5:46. You can hear the first hour free. And then, if you have a crow subscription, you can see the second hour. It's a lot of the stuff I cover here, but I focused on gems and crystals because that was really my first, thing I did in my past life. So there's a lot of talk about where diamonds come from and synthetics and things like that. And I think you'll find it interesting. So that is that. And that's it. What? Crow. There's 2 R's. You got to roll the R. Crow. 777radio.com. So what's this? Oh, and this is from my friend. He doesn't know me, but Carl Vernon.
If you have a utility...
No, not these guys. Kill this. All right. How do we keep going? Hi there. I'm an orange vest man. Here we go. They're just saying, I think this is my friend's G'day in Australia.
His clothes and Australia.
Yeah, he sounds Australian. Well, then we need to do this if we're going to do Australian news. I don't know where it is. You guys see it? It's in here somewhere. Here we go.
Here's your news, straight from us. We once were prison call. Now we don't separate call. I want more accent. First we melted us. Wow. You'll have to learn how to roll side. Poulsbo.
Okay, enough of that nonsense. Here's some new nonsense. So they're of course we know it still is, I think, a prison colony. It's an experimental colony, let's say that. And they're trying to go cashless.
Increasingly rely on digital payments. One economist predicts the country will be cashless in the next few years.
And so all these companies are joining in. It's not just the ones you think, like KFC,
Krispy Kreme, and Nando's. But even Macquarie Bank is.
This is a bank. They actually, I had a long time ago a home loan they used to do in the United States. It was California. They did home loans, and imagine a bank that no longer accepts cash. So whether they'll be able to continue down this path that they want to take us on, I have no idea. But they're on their way. They're starting, because if it's one thing to get these businesses, but when you get banks involved that aren't taking cash, it's interesting. Should be for some interesting times. So, and Melanie sent me this too, that we have to add this to the list of the new deadly things, weather that we've been racking up. You had the hurricane and some of these other wonderful new things. Now we have the super fog. So watch out. I think I saw this movie with John Carpenter wrote it. The original one. And I didn't see the new one, but the original one was pretty scary. But it was just called Fog, and now it's called Super Fog. Then there was The Mist. So maybe we'll get one of those coming soon. And shockingly, things that we can't talk about, but I've tried to for a few years, they're now saying that might slightly increase the risk of things in older people. So, just listen to the CDC and all the 3-letter people and do what they say. But I don't know how you not see these articles and at least put it in the back of your mind going, So hopefully someone does that, because this is really all I can say. They're already taking away any monetization I get from these shows. But whatever. There's this. I thought this was interesting. So that now they have this pilot. He's an off-duty pilot at an Alaskan airline. This guy. And he goes all nuts on the flight, mid-flight. Jumps out of the little jumper seat, and he tries to shut down the engines. And they were able to subdue him and take him into custody. 2 things about this story. One is, when they talk to the people, it's always the same. They described him as a positive, friendly, and upbeat father of 2. So that's the weird thing. They always say, he didn't act like a maniac. Plus, they're making everyone scared of, just regular people that keep to themselves, because now they think they might try to take down a plane. But even more shocking to me is there's actually some lever that any Joe on a plane can get to and turn off the engines. I think that should be behind the cockpit door, don't you? I think the pilot should only have the option of turning on and off the engines. That's what I think. But what do I know? So, all right. And I'll put this in the chat, because 2 things: you can't really play 60 Minutes, and you also can't talk about this on here. But he shares some really interesting ideas about the war and stuff that we're seeing right now. And so I'll put that in the chat. So you can watch that. And, I know sometimes there's an issue where the chat doesn't come right away. It's usually up within a few hours of the show posting or by the next day. And if there is something that you hear and you don't see the chat and you want the link, write me. My email is ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. And I will answer. So let's see. What do we have here? And, and thank you. Free Thinker over on Rockfin found me through Rose, and he said my show was great with Crow. So thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So where are we at? Let's see. And 16 Alpha spent 4 hours looking at Google Earth, and now he's here. Nice. I'm glad you're here. Your eyes must be tired. It is hard to look at these screens for long periods of time. I'm sorry? Did you find anything? Oh, I don't know. I didn't find out about his show. Okay. So I dropped that clip in there because I'm afraid of getting taken down. So we'll go from there and move on. There's certain subjects, depending on the time of year, you can't talk about. And right now, you got to be very careful. It used to be the other war between Russia and the blue and yellow flag. And now it's the war with these, the current one. So let's see. What does this see? Yeah, right, Johnny? Cool. That's crazy. What does this button do? He should not be allowed to touch something that can turn off the engines. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And then, do I still have your comment on there? See, I forgot to do that. Get rid of that. Thinks he's so cool. You can't have your comment up there. Okay. And we've covered this guy, but just in case I haven't done it enough, you can look into this man. He has only like so many pictures, and he wears the same suit because they say that he was so smart he only bought one color or two. But how about he just did a photo shoot here in America for like a few weeks? And I found so many videos where he comes up to a board that's already written. I don't see him ever coming up with any equations. And then the times he's reading speeches about his theory of relativity, he's reading them. He doesn't have it committed to memory. If you came up with a theory, you wouldn't need to read it. I have just basic notes scratched down for this show. That's it. I don't have to have a script. I'm not a puppet. And that's what I believe he was. Just like even more ridiculous is Stephen Hawking's. Don't even get me started on him. We've covered him multiple times. I'm supposed to believe that the smartest man in the world that helped, again, push the whole idea of space and all these things that we're dealing with now. And he's in a machine that a computer speaks for him by his eye movements or by his twitches on his face. And then it comes up with full sentences and words, and we buy into that. Idiocracy, people say, is a what do you call it? It's a documentary. No, the people in Idiocracy would be laughing at us. I mean, all they did was spray Gatorade on their crops. We actually spray poison. We get Roundup and spray it on the weeds and stuff that actually are probably medicines and things to help us. And then we plant grass, which we can't eat or use. And then we mow it and then we throw it out or mulch it. I mean, it makes no sense. But in any case, just so you know, there's a reason they all do this. It's not by accident. It's not by happenstance, whatever. That's the code. And I think, let's see, do I have? Let me get out of this one. How do I get out of here? Where'd it go? I think it's here. Clickety click. Go here. Where is that? I don't see it now. All right. We'll deal with it later. Well, you know what? I could get rid of these. What is this? So hang on, people. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show that. Let me do that. Present. Go here. And we'll go here. Okay. I think that's working, right? Yeah, I see me and the thing. Okay, so going back to what I was saying about how we can overcome these obstacles and stuff. I used to do videos where I would do like walkabouts and talk, and I wasn't doing the live stream. And so I still shoot video here and there, and not sure where I'm going to use it. And this kind of I came across this tonight. It's something I shot a while back, and of course I think it fits in perfectly about when we have struggles that we can't seem to overcome. I saw this, and I saw this bug trapped in the spider. Is, if you can see it, it's this black dot right there. It's so tiny, but it captured this huge bug. So do you think that you can't do much because the problems are bigger than you? Look at this, what they call I don't know what kind of monster bug. And it's now being contained and eventually eaten by the tiniest little spider you've ever seen. So why do you think you can overcome your problems? All you need is a little faith. This spider attacked and captured this gigantic bug. So that's, hopefully you heard that. So yeah, isn't that something? I think. Okay. And then let me get through the rest of these photos, and then we can go on to the other stuff that we have to present tonight. Oh, good. You heard it. Well, okay, good. I wasn't sure. Let's see. Clickety click. Go here. And this wasn't taken by me, but someone sent it to me. This was out in the waters out here in Washington. And look at where the rainbow came all the way down to the water. Isn't that cool? So I thought that was a cool picture. So we had that. And what other pictures? This one I thought was, well, just kind of says it all. Let's see. Same with this one. Oh, just some random photos that I'm trying to clear through. Like this. This is the Eiffel Tower. And what's underneath it? Why would you build these weird arches and this brickwork? So you wonder how far down whatever this structure is goes. Interesting. Because we know there's a lot of buried cities throughout all of France and Paris. So a lot of skeletons too, I guess. Oh, and this for people I had people asking me about this, and I was talking about it on this other show. And so just so you know, God talks about in the last days, which where I do believe we find ourselves. He talks about people that pretend to be other people and they're not who they say they are. And they pray to the Star of Renfan, which is this star here. That's the verse and the reverse. But they tell you it's a different star. They tell you this is the Star of David. And it's not. This double triangle is the Star of Renfan, and so is the Pentagon. So, and it's talked about in the Bible, just so you know. Oh, and just again, I'll repeat, when you do this, it is joining the fraternity as started and entered apprentice in Freemasonry. Just saying. I thought this was a cool picture of Seattle. And what I find interesting is this building, I believe, is still there, but a lot of these are gone. Some of these are, or they have new fronts on them. But when you look at this Pioneer Square, I mean, maybe you could say there's 100 people, maybe 200 people, but nothing for the amount of massive structures that go on as far as you can see. Like, who was building these and for what society? Because it's obviously not for this scattering of people here. So, I mean, who's filling this hotel? How many people are there right now? Who are these people? So, I thought those was interesting. All right, so now we got rid of those. So let's see where we're at. Yes. No bueno. Yeah, I don't know. Those buildings are kind of cool, though, the ones that are right in the corners. I don't know.
I don't know why they make them like that, but maybe they get more space out of it. I'm not sure. And who's praying on a star? But don't forget, what do they do when we're kids? What do they? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, right? Or starlight, star bright. You ask for a wish, right? They get us as little kids. So, and I pray to Christmas, star tarts religiously. I'm not even sure what that's. Yes, this whole realm is effing nuts. So, but anyways. Okay, so let's go with clickety click. We'll go here. We'll go back to some of our tabs, and we'll go in here. We're up to 116 people. Thank you all. If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe, please. And and all that other stuff. All right, so got rid of this figure. This is a gentleman I watch occasionally, Slinging Stone, and he's covering the creepiness of this sphere.
You can't watch this video and tell me that subliminal messaging is not real. The MSG Sphere in Las Vegas just opened up, and their first band was U2. And take a look at some of the messaging that.
So first of all, what they did is it's basically a laserium kind of thing, like a planetarium dome, all the way around you. And so they have a concert up front, and then they have all kinds of symbolisms around, and then sometimes they have cameras from different areas of the stage. But they also used it, and it's provenly so that subliminal messages work. We know that.
Flashed on screen while 18,600 attendants watched the concert.
So he slowed down. These things went by so fast that your eyes couldn't even pick them up. It's more like it did at the beginning of the video when
you can't watch this
when
video
it has all the numbers and letters going by.
Messaging is not real. The MSG Sphere in Las Vegas just opened
when those
up,
words go by. Okay, calm down. That's what it's flashing like that fast. And so it is a subliminal message to your subconscious. And I showed it on a show, and we can pull that up again another time. You can still find it. They used to close out the television at night with the national anthem, and then they would cut to fuzz. And then, they're here, and the poltergeist girl would get sucked into the TV. But prior to that, you can look it up, subliminal messages in television, good night, something like that. And you'll see that as the words go across the screen, it's straight out of They Live. They flash on, and certain letters fade out faster than others. And it says things like, obey and follow your government or whatever. It says words within it, but to your subconscious. And if you slow it down, you can certainly see it. And so that's the thing. People go to these concerts and they don't realize that they're getting these subliminal messages. And I'm not saying you can't go to these things anymore. I mean, we have to enjoy ourselves, but just know that if you go, you're at the whim of these people and their agenda. So, and it is an agenda. You can't tell me that was an accident, that it says all that stuff. Oh, they're artists. They're just, well, okay, but no. So, I mean, this is super, super slowed down. Why would they put all that in there? Anyways. And then just because we keep talking about DNA, sure as heck, here comes an article. I think this came from France. Chapu sent me this. The 23andMe that we've been talking about, who's owned by one of the Wachowski sisters or whatever. They just had it says user data was stolen in a credential suffering attack. So, I mean, this happens to all companies. I don't think there's one yet. Even like the government sites get hacked. I saw Matthew Broderick. He broke into like the CIA or the government's defense system. So anyone can do it, obviously. So just so you know that all your DNA is now who knows where. China, I don't know. I also found it interesting when you look at this picture. Does that look like reptile skins? Is that weird? I don't know why a DNA thing would have reptile. It almost looked like a snake head right there even. But what do I know? I just look for things, I guess. Okay, so what's next? Oh, I thought this was interesting. So we showed last week that now we have dancing soldiers in this war. And then we get this story comes out. Now, first I want to stress on this channel, I don't know what's happening over there, and God bless and watch over everyone, and the loss of life there is terrible. But these news stories seem ridiculous to me. You're telling me that they got these women over in Israel. Okay, I get it. They raise them differently than they do here. I get it. But these particular women, 13 women that went and killed 100 Hamas terrorists. They're called the Lioness Squad. They even have like their own like hit name or whatever, like the A-Team. And when I look at these pictures, well, first of all, isn't that adorable how she's got her thing up in a bun there? It's really cute. Don't forget, when someone takes these photos, there's a photographer staging these. I don't care if they're in a real war or not. And so, all right, so that's a decent picture. She's just there. I get it. But now look at these. I mean, these don't look like girls that are in war and killing 100 Hamas. They don't. Not to me. They made sure they wore their jewelry and their long earrings. I don't know. Is that a requirement to go kill people in war? Make sure you look pretty. Looks like they got lipstick on. Did her hair up nicely. Here it looks like they're cheering with, I don't know, prisoners. No, hurt people, but they're cheering too. It says they're celebrating. Oh, nice. Look at it. It's the 33rd Battalion. Of course it is. I don't know where that went, but you saw it before it disappeared. There, look, it's the 33rd. That's fantastic. I didn't see that. But, I mean, do you think these people are in war killing people? Or is this more of a photo shoot? She's got lipstick on, and then she's got this. Probably eyeliner, too. I don't know. At least she doesn't have any jewelry on. And look at this. She did her nails. Is that easier to hold the gun grip, I guess, if you have really well done nails? They just don't seem to me like what they're being portrayed as. I question, like, if this gal even knows how to hold the gun. I mean, she looks like she knows how to hold the gun, I guess. And of course, there's this one. Everyone always gets one of these shots, you know, the somber shots. So, yeah. Anyways, just thought that was interesting. Whatever's happening, I ain't buying this story, just so you know. These girls shot and killed 100 people, and then they staged these photos and made sure they had their burgers with their jewelry. And I'm not buying it, this particular story. Okay. And then meanwhile, this is what you got going on in America.
Why is everybody saying Gen Z is going to get drafted? Like, no, the fuck we're not. And you know why I know that? Because we're just going to say no.
Sorry, I already like this kid.
Like, how are they going to actually force us to get up and go to war? I understand it was like that in, like, the 1940s. What else is there to do in 1940 besides shoot people? We have things to do nowadays. We have twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, lie. And we're also, like, really mentally ill. I have, like, 6 of these. What makes you think I'm qualified to have a gun? Like, within 600 feet of anybody, including myself. And finally, like, guns are, like, so tacky. Like, can you imagine just, like, pulling up with a gun? Like, that is so fucking embarrassing. Like, what is this, the Revolutionary fucking War? No. Like, let's just chat. Let's just talk. There's no need for all the, like, no. No. It's not gonna happen, don't worry.
Oh man, that's too much. But he's dead on. And yeah, there is videos of the Israeli girls twerking. I showed it last week. Keep up, Mr. Cool. So yeah, isn't that something? What's next? And no matter how bad your neighbor is, there's always a worse neighbor. So I'm just playing this so that you know you might live next door to this. Unless she's winning money on a bet, this made no sense. But you know, although I have to admit, when I see a hoop on the ground, the first thought I have is, let me crawl through it. So, okay. And this is probably my favorite video of all time. You know which one it is.
Hey.
Hey.
Guess who just came by here?
Who?
Some guy. Hey, I didn't know him. He said, if you show me your boobs, I'll give you a bottle of wine.
What? Who? Who did that?
I don't know. He was just coming by.
Oh my God.
And he said that.
So what happened? Did you call the police?
No,
What'd you do?
he went that way.
What?
Come on, people. That lady deserves an Oscar. That was something else, right? Exactly. Yeah, that's something else. Okay, what's next? Yeah, I thought this was interesting from John Levi, because he's covering Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. We were told that they had to raise the streets and level certain areas, and just looking like an absolute reset wasteland, like the ground has been sucked away. But what interested me most about this very, very early photo of Seattle, Washington, was this little skyscraper back here. Look at this thing. This is the earliest photo of Seattle.
Isn't that something? And then he continues on and he shows there's another, back in here. Like there's a bigger city back here still. I mean, look at that. It's almost like some modern day buildings back there. So,
I mean, looking as modern as anything today.
Boom, boom. I usually see him on, that's John Levi. He has a channel on YouTube. He's got some really cool stuff. And he gives Jen shout outs occasionally. So I'll say he's a righteous dude. But yeah. So, and I thought this was interesting. I did a tour years ago. They had the Spy Museum came around. And they showed that back in like the 50s, they had dragonfly drones. They had different types of insects. They even taught a cat. They put a camera on a cat, but apparently the cat wasn't doing what it was told and wasn't going where it was supposed to. And I think it eventually got hit by a car. I'm not certain on that. It was a long time ago. I looked into that. But in any case, so then there's this new story now showing the mosquito spy drones. So I saw it as a dragonfly. We don't need the music. And now they've gone down to the size of mosquitoes. Look at that. That's a drone. And for some reason, it has a syringe. That's kind of James Bondish, I feel. So, and then I think they showed, here's a nano drone in the U.S. Army. Look how tiny that is. And then, let's see, flyby drone and the Paris. Yeah, there you go. That's like some kind of dragonfly-ish looking thing. But some of them look real, like real bugs. And they don't have this like squared up body. How about this one? This one is a fly. Isn't that something? It looks like a little gun. Dragonfly drone. See, this is kind of what I saw, those kind of things at the Spy Museum. And then other projects in development are, I guess, a beetle. That looks like a watch. I don't know. That one looks ridiculous. But they do have some of this stuff, and and now they're looking at the bee, I guess. And that's that moth they stick in the mouth, I think, of Silence of the Lambs. But yeah, so they're getting smaller and smaller technology. And you've probably even seen it. I found this video where they showed how they used it.
It takes a team of highly skilled engineers to land a fly on somebody's head. We typically get hired to land a fly on high-profile political candidates during live events that are being broadcast to a large audience. You might have seen our work in 2016 when we landed a fly right on Hillary Clinton's eyebrows, or more recently during the vice presidential debate when we landed a fly on Mike Pence's head and it sat there for about 2 minutes. The objective is usually to distract the viewer from what the candidate is saying, and more importantly, distract the media from reporting about what the candidate is saying and focus more on the fly itself. And let's face it, nobody remembers what Mike Pence said during those 2 minutes our fly was sitting on his head. We design and engineer all of our models in-house. Our first prototype was used in 2009 to land on President Obama's face. Unfortunately, he was able to smack it down and completely destroy our prototype, which was unfortunate because it was really expensive. But we plan to debut our next generation of flies in the upcoming and final presidential debate. That particular model is able to drop a tiny little poop on the candidate's head. So,
of course, that part of this was a joke. Although the rest of it's still a joke, but that part specifically. Yes. But to see how easily we are deceived, you got these kids and they're standing on this floor that's stationary. They're not moving. But the floor beneath them, oops, it starts moving, and this child loses his balance. And of course, Big Brother, he's, I can do this, no problem. But just the visual of the floor moving, it's fascinating. Watch it. They all lose. None of them can stay up on this when it starts going really fast. And the floor didn't move. It's just their perception of the floor moving. Isn't that wild? I think that's wild. So, okay. Let's see. Let me get out of this. Stop that. Click here. Okay, we'll do one more thing here, and we'll show this one. Present. Clickety click. In honor of the pumpkin season, I found this pumpkin video. Was that satisfying on some level? I thought it was. Okay. God, they have weird teeth, don't they? They really do. That is a hungry, hungry hippo. Just saying. Okay. All right, let's stop this. Let's get out of here. Let's go down to this one. Let's see. Where are you all? You're right here. Okay. 133. Illuminati confirmed watching. Now we're in trouble. Yeah, I said the joke first, but yeah, it's a hungry hippo. Or garbage masher. Yeah, that's another quantum thing or whatever, right? In Star Wars, they don't get into a trash compactor. They get into a garbage masher or something like that. Maybe I have that wrong. But here's what we can do. Let us start with, go here, clickety click. I'm going to get a drink of water, and I'm going to put on, this is one of those things I make, but this one came out actually last year, but nobody probably remembers it, so I'm going to play it like it's new. So here you go, and then we'll continue.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
I love our new clouds, don't you? You don't even need to try to find shapes in them. They just make their own shapes. Just one big long, I don't know, stain, smear.
The smear lines are impeccable.
How you doing, ladies?
Not scared, not scared.
Scared? I'm not scared. You're scared.
You're scared, he's scared, you're both scared.
So, just so you know, as much as I love my dogs and they really keep me sane, they also do things that drive me crazy, like tear a hole through the chicken coop because they want to get a piece of bread they saw in there. Yes, they're still alive, barely. But, so yeah, here's my new project for today. Aces. So another cool thing with when you have chickens is we always have extra eggs. By the way, the eggs, they're so beautiful. Each egg, just like each chicken, has their own personality and color. It's amazing. And so, obviously I'm running out of boxes. I have to get some more boxes. But what I do is I take them and I deliver them to the neighbors. Because if we have too much, you're supposed to share. That's the wonderful thing when you find God. And so my wife made me this cool bag. It's not a purse, it's a satchel. Indiana Jones had one.
Indiana Jones wears one.
And of course I do like birds. I look for it, I don't see a single one eye in here, but I'll keep looking for it and then I'll toss it if I find one. So, but anyways, share your joy and share your bounty. That's why God gave it to you.
Farmer's bounty?
Yes, farmer's bounty.
So we got rain and sun. Pretty amazing. Oh, and you. Hey there.
Satellite tracking continues.
Okay. So, and I forgot, I wanted to thank, I got a new Patreon person, Ivan. I just got Trisha Clark, Trisha C. And there's Surreal, Kim Floyd, and Jason, and David, and Sharpest Blade, and Faye. So thank you all for being Patreons. I appreciate that. And if I missed anyone, let me know. I apologize. And so, and I do get help occasionally, time to time, on Cash App. And then if I've forgotten, I thought I'd just say, from Holly, thank you very much. But over the course of this last few months, I'd say I like just reading off people's first names. So if you hear your name, that's who it is, because I'm not big about releasing everyone's last name. Maybe they didn't want to do that. So I got Lisa, Bethany, Jason, Jonathan, Joe. It sounds like, remember Romper Room, and they'd read off the names and you'd wait for your name and I'd never hear mine. Jonathan, Joe, David, Jake, Paul, Belinda, and Samuel. Thank you. And of course, Heather, every week on Rockfin, your sweetheart. Okay. Now, I think I've covered all the notes that I keep forgetting and the thank yous. So I apologize for not doing that soon enough. And if you feel like supporting me over on Patreon, I'm over there. And I am trying to put some things there that you can only get there. I'm working on it. So, but thank you for being a supporter over there. It is now 5-3 in the middle of the 6th for those of us keeping score. Okay. So, is it time to go into the main subject matter? Well, let me kill the rest of these before we get there. So we'll go here. And we'll go here. Let's see. Oops, not that one. Let's go here. Oops, wrong button. Sorry. Okay, clickety click. We'll go here. Share audio and there. I think it's this one. And just like I said, they have been what do you call that? Conditioning us, training us, indoctrinating us since we were kids.
What's the reasoning behind all of this? Surely kids don't know what the Illuminati means and all of this dark symbolism that comes along with it and all of the conspiracies of what goes on behind those closed doors. What if it's because they're trying to ingrain this image so far into their heads so that when they grow up, the generations to come think that this is the norm? Especially when they see their favorite celebrity or artist doing it, there's nothing to question because this is all the imagery that they're seeing in front of their faces on TV, music videos, everything they're watching. I was scrolling on social media and I saw this video of the words Nickelodeon cut up into 3 pieces and translated into Latin. You can try it out yourselves and it literally translates to I don't care about God. Sound it out yourself just like they're doing in this commercial.
What do you think of that? Where'd it go? Isn't that wild? I mean, just little things that subliminally, that before the internet and before someone took the time to break this down and see that, they're right in your face. They're right in your face. That's how this system works. They have to tell us what they're doing to us because we have free will. And so we have to give it up and then consent, and then they can mess with us.
Commercial.
Well, I'll play their song.
That doesn't sound just like it. They have you singing it and everything. Now, do you remember this commercial that would play after each episode finished? Pay very close attention and wait for it. How sus is that? I mean, what's the reason for them to slide in these subliminal messages out of nowhere?
Isn't that wild? So, yeah, it's everywhere. They just let us know who's running the show. I know. This realm sucks, Lucas. But you know what? There's goodness. There's joyous. There's wonderfulness. There's so much beauty in these times. And don't forget, throughout the history of the Bible, people wanted to know when these times are coming, and we're in them. So you can woe is me like I have. Trust me, when I first woke up to this. Why me? But then again, we were chosen. Either you chose to be here or God chose you and you don't even know why. Because there are no coincidences. There are no mistakes. There are no accidents. I don't believe in any of that anymore. There's a purpose for our lives and there's a purpose for why we're here. And each and each one of us has our own path and our own purpose. And we'll find that out. And I don't know where the silent wife is, but I need help down here with some dog situations. So, but that's I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. And I thought this is interesting. Now, I don't get caught up in all the minutia of royalty or politics or any of that anymore. But when you see something like this, tell me you weren't pregnant without telling me you weren't pregnant. So, Meghan Markle. Now, this is her. And that's, I forget what they said, 6 months, or I forget how far along she's supposed to be. But everybody that I've talked to so far, women that have been pregnant, say that this is like near impossible what she's doing here. Totally not uncomfortable whatsoever. Having just a regular conversation with a gigantic belly that she's, I don't know where it is right now. And then when she's done, she just, what's going on? I think one's out, one's in. See? So, I don't know. Unless you're telling me these are two different times, then it's awkward that she's wearing the same outfit. So there's that. I don't know what's going on there, but just so you know. And then this, look at this. I have been talking to death over these electric cars, and more stories keep coming out. And so when you figure out the true cost of filling an electric vehicle, including the extra charging costs and subsidies, it comes out to approximately $17.33 a gallon. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, you can argue that you don't have to fill it up as much, but no, nay. And then when you actually want to fill up your car, you have to hope that there's not someone else there already in front of you, because it takes a few hours to fill these cars, charge them, I guess is the word. And if someone's there in front of you, you think it's bad waiting at a gas pump for 10, 20 minutes? Imagine waiting at a EV charger for a couple hours before you even get your turn to charge your car. Tom Buddhist just got here? For reals? All right. Tom.
I don't feel sorry.
Right? For anyone else that just showed up late. Now let's get back into this here. Where were we? So yeah, I forgot where I was, but let's go to the next one. I have a son that he does electrical work, and he told me he's seen this firsthand. In order to get these charging stations that they have here, unless it was already built in advance, it's extremely costly and almost not, well, to most stations, they don't deem it cost effective to put in the lines that you need to connect the electrical all the way to the main station. So instead, they're doing this.
Look, it's an electric charger for an electric car. And right there, that is a diesel-powered generator.
So they're installing, and this is happening here in America. I believe this is crikey in Australia. But firsthand, my son has seen it, that they're putting, and sometimes they'll bury them underground, cover them up so you can't see this. But no, they're charging these charging stations, unless they've connected it directly to the store. They're charging them through either above ground or underground diesel engines. So what have we saved? Nothing. Because it's not about that. It's about control, and it's about what can we make people do and buy these products and make them think that they're helping when they're not. It's just, wow. I get some more water too. This in here. This guy.
Okay, that one.
Okay, what's next? And also to let you know who's running the show, here's some contrails. As whenever I have any discussions on my channel, I always get that YouTube fact check that says these are contrails, not chemtrails. I don't care what you call them. This is not natural. To have a pentagon in the sky, what is going on? And then you realize, where is it? Oh, well, it's magical in this magic in the sky because it's over the Magic Kingdom, of course. so there you go. And what did we say at the beginning of the show? Star of Remphan. Yes. Okay. Oh, now we need to get out of this. Thank you. And You need to get hit with this.
This week in scary space news.
Okay. This week in scary space news. We'll start you off with this.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Sometimes I do appreciate the beauties of AI. Okay, who didn't like that? We have to watch that again.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
No humans were hurt in the making of this video. Potentially a demon, that's it. Yes. Let's see where we at here. Clickety click. So get rid of that. No, I'll leave that. I might look back at that again. All right, so the world is on verge of a space war. See? God says in these days there'll be wars and rumors of wars. Well, we got wars going on. Here's a rumored war in space. Thank Trump we got a space force now, right? The world is on the verge of a space war as the Russian satellite shows sign of aggression towards the U.S. See, Russia's been parking a satellite next to the Western satellites in an aggressive manner. Look at aggressive manner. I'm not quite sure how you park a satellite in space aggressively. I guess it's like slamming a door. But are we getting Karens in space now? So with United States space officials calling it out as something to be worried about. So, yeah, I guess we have Karen in space. But look at this. Isn't that nuts? So, yeah, it's according to several sources. The Slingshot aerospace officials were panicking after it spotted a Russia moving one of its Lush, maybe it's Lush, satellites within 60 km, nobody knows what that means in America, of one of the satellites put into orbit by an unnamed Western nation. Okay, whatever. And it was seen as an act of aggression. It came dangerously close. And how do you know? Look at this cartoon. That would irritate me. So, yeah. So, Russia, we're on the precipice of a satellite space war, and I will vow to keep you abreast of this situation. Yes, I said breast. Okay, next. This is how easy it is to fool people. So here's the current rotation of the Earth, right? No, it's a propane tank in the guy's backyard. Or maybe we all live on this guy's propane tank. You know, there's always that option. You can't rule anything out. I need more weed to believe that, though. All right, what's next? Oh, and then there's this. I mean, this kind of falls into scary space news. Developing exclusive. Here's the... What? I heard yelling. Here's the alleged photo of the 7-foot-tall alien in Peru that the locals are calling pelicadas or face peeler. There he is. And I think Mel Gibson's over here, right? Wasn't that? What was that movie? That was a scary movie. What was that? Village? No. What was that? Hit a home run, dude. What is that movie? Come on, somebody help me with the aliens and the corn. We'll figure it out. No one in chat knows what I'm talking about. Oh, wait. I got to put the chat up. That's the issue. It's my issue. Signs. Thank you. Western Warrior. Now, there's a WW33. See? Illuminati confirmed. Well, I can't get the chat going over here, but I did see that, so that worked. Okay. We'll try one more time. See if this works. Clickety click. Waiting for permission. What? What's going on? Fine. Be that way. This computer's dying. Dang it. I have a computer that I do all the little clips and stuff, and it's so old and it's dying, and it's sad because I'm going to have to come up with getting a new computer, but worse, I'm going to have to learn a new program. So if it turns out, in the next few months and stuff, that I might keep writing the same opening joke, is because if this thing dies, then I'll have to try to figure something out. But anyways, let's move on. And then, of course, I was reading articles and someone said it doesn't look as fake as the Russian spacewalk. And I was like, all right. And I normally don't go over these things, but God put it in my heart to click on it.
Step into Wix.
Get rid of the sound and you people. Who's you people? Okay, we don't have to step in their studio. We'll go over here until they're done. He put it in my heart to just randomly click on this video, and I did, and I got to this part where they're releasing this thing into space. And let's see, where is it? I think it's right about here. And I'd have to look at the context, because first of all, for some reason, I'm seeing stars through the objects. So maybe someone could explain to me how they were shooting this as to why I see this weird imagery. But regardless, he lets this thing go into space and it flies away pretty convincingly. And then all of a sudden, it's like the opacity of it is like less than 100%. Then it's back to 100%. Then it goes down to like, I don't know, 75%. Then it like 40%. You can see through it. Oops. And then look, now it's almost like you can completely see through it. And then it gets solid again. See right there. So I don't know. I've never been to space, but I'm not sure what makes an object phase in and out like that. And then in addition to that, now, first of all, most of the time, there's just no color to the stars, at least when NASA shoots it. Now we have beautiful colors. They're not moving. None of them are moving. And they're on the ISS. And the ISS is moving, but the stars are completely stationary. And in addition to that, then when they get back to the astronauts coming into view, okay, here we are. I can clearly see through this. Clearly. I mean, come on. So unless you can explain to me they were filming through some kind of screen, but that doesn't even make sense why I can see the stars behind the object through the object. But, these live streams, this went on for like 6 hours, and most people aren't watching, and if they are, they're barely watching it. But there's a lot of tomfoolery going on here. Okay, and then I started looking into it. When you go to the beginning of this thing, around 10 minutes in, let's see. You go into here. Where are we at here? Make sure I've got this. There we go. Like 0.75. Let's see. I want to get a shot of the Earth. Okay. So you can see the Earth here, and then I'll put it regular here for a minute here so you can see. I don't know how they work on these videos, but now what I see on this shot here so far is the Earth's not really, I mean, we're spinning around, but I don't see the Earth turning. Let's see. Now we get another commercial. Sorry, everyone. Let's see. Now we get 2 commercials. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Let's see. Well, maybe this isn't the best view of it, but it's barely moving. I mean, you can, when he does get to where you can see it, let's see. It definitely doesn't have much of a rotation to it. Now, go forward and go to, let's see, 129. Okay. Now I think we have a little bit more rotation there, but still not that, like, to me, that noticeable. I know he's moving around a lot. But then when I went to 136, which is right about here, now we see a definite movement, which we didn't see before. Of course, the clouds really aren't moving. They're moving with the rotation of the Earth. That's a whole other subject. And then I went to 146 and saw this shot. But you can definitely see it's going faster than it did in the beginning of the video. It's barely moving. And again, the clouds are moving along with it. Then you've got there's only a couple more I was going to show you. I just found this interesting because who watches these things anymore? We're at 201 somewhere. All right, picture go forward. We're just going to get the white circle. 201. Let's try here. Let's try this. Maybe we'll just get the white circle. Ludicrous speed. Well, I guess we're speaking too much truth. They don't want me to show this thing anymore. Weird. But you can see where I'm going with this. It keeps changing its speed. I think there was another one, 432.30. Let's try that one. What is that one? Let's try this one. Yeah, there, look. Now it's slowed down again. Right? And so the other thing I wanted to mention, 451. What's this one? Yeah, look at that one. And so if the space station is moving, then why are these stars that we're seeing, like specifically at this section here where he's jettisoning this thing, why aren't they moving? Everything else is moving. Why are they staying just completely, perfectly aligned, not moving? Just saying. A lot of questions I have with this video. And it was live, supposedly. So, because I definitely see a ghost image here. But it still doesn't explain why this turns into like see-through and why these stars don't move. So, all right. Enough of this. What is this? Oh, Shapu sent me this. I've never heard of the Bogo Mills. They were medieval Bulgarian heresy rebels that almost won over Europe. This was news to me until Shapu said it to me, I think yesterday or today. So definitely look for more discussions on this. But I had never heard of them. And now apparently they almost took over Europe. The Bogomils. So there's that. Next, we've shown this before, but it keeps reappearing in my feed. So how did these steps get melted? They say it's, from erosion of people walking. Then how come we don't see it this way elsewhere in the world? It's not making sense what they're telling us. Just saying. Who's carving melted steps, as Jen would say? And for those people that still believe that the pyramids and different things were built with donkeys or giant horses and ropes and pulleys and things like they show here, I'm just here to remind you things like this. Oh, we don't want to have music. It could be an issue. So you've got this. And we're supposed to believe that a bunch of slaves pulled this up on their own on rope and rods or rolling boards or whatever they tell us, logs. Then there's this. So I'm not buying your history that you're telling me. Although I did find out one of the animals that apparently did help build all these buildings, of course, what was it? It was a crow. A crow. It was a crow. You still can't roll that R. A crow. Crow. It was a crow. Proof positive. So there. What's this? Oh, I don't know. This made me laugh. Consider this a warning. Oops, wrong person. Who's the right person? And I agree. So if you got this and they said wrong person, there's a right person for this? I hope not. And then this one, I thought this is so, I was actually thinking maybe recreating this. I'm here for you. Why, thanks. I'm going through a tough time, so it means a lot. And sorry, I lost my contacts. Who is this? It's your Uber driver. I'm here to pick you up. Dun-dun-dun. Oh, and that's my video from last week for the people that like to cuddle or don't cuddle. I like that one. Okay. We covered this guy, so we're done with that. Dr. No. Okay. And that. Okay, so we have two subjects we need to talk about. I want to do my main presentation on James Bond, and also I need to discuss what happened. For those of you that are new to me, I've been doing this now. The live show, I guess we looked it up like 3 years, and I've been doing YouTube for a little longer than that, 4, 5. I don't know anymore. What is this? 2017 is when I started. So whatever that math equals. Sounds like 5 years, 6 years, something like that. In any case, it doesn't matter. What am I even talking about this for? Oh, I started with a lot of the other YouTube channels that like they just had a big convention and stuff. And at this convention, they had a gentleman go in there. And he has a channel. I think his name is Tyler something. Tyler Durden? No, that's the guy from Fight Club. What was it? Tyler Oliveira. And he went to this event, and he did interviews and stuff, and he did recordings. And this is what I saw, and you can all watch it and and decide for yourself. But at the beginning of this video, because I watched some of his other videos, and I don't see him like doing a ton of hit pieces. I see him doing investigative journalism with comedy. I mean, there's one episode where he and his idiot friends dig to China, and it's actually quite humorous. And so he does it with humor, but he also does real interviews. I saw him go through a homeless camp and talk to a gentleman that's been attacked and stabbed and stuff, but he does it just because God put it in his heart to do these things. So he has some interesting videos. I'll give him that. He also potentially is like completely part of the machine because he's got millions of viewers. I get that too. But what I saw was in the beginning of this video, he interviews with David Weiss and discusses flat Earth, or at least the version of like where we potentially live, because those of us in these channels, we don't believe that we're flying through space on a spinning ball. The exact shapes and all that, it's up for debate, and if it's hollow or not. Okay. It's whoops. And he talked with this gentleman who was one of the people that helped wake me up in the beginning. And so, there was good information there. But he talked with Dave Weiss, this guy, who also, I believe, likes my channel.
Okay. A ceiling fan photoshopped into a picture of Jupiter, or a satellite orbiting Jupiter?
I'm going with satellite on this one. I feel pretty confident about that. How about you?
I go with ceiling fan. So anyway, so this gentleman, he talks to Dave. Here, I'll show you. I'll bring it up so you know what I'm talking about. All right, how do we get rid of all these words and noises? Clickety click. We'll go here. We'll go here. Go here. Clickety click. And I know there's a huge part of my audience that doesn't really even know about this stuff, but this was my beginnings. Whoops, I just got rid of it. Hang on. Clickety click. This was my beginning. So, there's a lot of people that are still with me that saw, me go from this group and then continue on to where we are now. But so I just thought I should, mention it because this just happened. And where are we at? Is it this one? Here we go. And so, he starts off, and if you watch it when he's talking. Oh shoot! I hit the wrong button again. Okay, one more time. Clickety click, clickety click, clickety click. Here. Okay. There. He's talking with Dave, and he asks him specific questions, and David gives him answers, to the best of what he does. And he even says after the interview, as most of us, because he went into it thinking that we're all idiots and ridiculous because we talk about, the Earth not being a globe flying through space. But by the time he's done talking with David, to me anyways, it at least seems like he's listening and he's interested. And then at the end, when he actually gets in the car, he says legitimately he's confused and he's not sure anymore because there are questions. Okay. And this is how we all get into this. This is how I got into it. I got into it laughing, saying, what a bunch of retards that they still believe the Earth is flat. Are they not sure if, it was so ridiculous. I could watch a video about anything, but not that until I did. And then I was blown away because there are so many questions and they're unanswerable by the what we've been told. And so he goes to this event and he starts meeting some people like this gal. And he even says that most of the people he met were super nice. He said it's some of the nicest people everywhere. He even is excited to see Dave. He seems genuine about this. Now, it could be completely all just for show. And he then goes and he goes in and he's kind of shocked because immediately, and it's within fun. Mark Sargent's like calling him out and saying, if you're a troll or whatever, we're going to get you. And, he's like kind of shocked or whatever. And then he asks questions. Now, granted, he asks questions that most likely are about some girlfriend that doesn't exist. He's a comedian / reporter. But the questions that he posed to Mark are legitimate questions that people ask us when they're wondering what the hell it is that we're discussing. Why are we saying the Earth is flat? And why are we so special that we were told these things that other people weren't? They're all legitimate questions. Now, where I see it go south is when he goes in the hallway here, or I should say out on the patio, and this commercial comes on, of course. And they start kind of getting angry with him and condescending in a way. At least that's what I saw, until whoever this gentleman comes over and where is he? And he says some really nasty things to him. This guy. And he says that if date rape was a person, it would be you. And so at that point, now whether or not he always came in here to like troll on us or not, I don't know. But at that point, he turned and he mentions this gentleman. And so then he finally says, look, I don't buy it. And you guys want to come outside and prove to me that I'm wrong. Then, he had the shirt ready to go. So was he a troll from the beginning? Maybe. But the reason I'm bringing this up is this. Either he was a troll from the beginning or he wasn't. But my wife and I watch auditor channels all the time. And the only ones that are interesting are the ones when people give a reaction to the auditors. The rest of them, they're boring. I mean, it's nice if someone doesn't give a reaction. That's what you're hoping for, because in the world we live in, you're not allowed to even have a camera and go around and film things without people getting in your face. It should be where no one has a problem with it. However, good television's only when people do have a problem. So now you get a gentleman like this or anybody coming into an event that is let's say he wasn't trolling, just for a moment. The way that we treat people and the way that we react and the way that we discuss these subjects to people will either allow them to listen to us or completely shut them down from us. And if we go into places and we call people globetards or just call them, retarded or stupid, or just talk down to them, dismiss them, call them names, all the things that people would do to people like us, myself, when we came out with a new idea, and we get upset when people shut us down. We have to watch ourselves too. We have to see how we're presenting ourselves to people that are actually curious about what we're talking about. Now, whether or not this gentleman was or not, I don't know. But regardless, we have to monitor the way we speak to people if we want them to hear our message, whatever that message is. And you're not going to do it by attacking them and calling them names. Just saying. So that's what I see here. I don't know about this gentleman, but what I saw was a progression of this video and just a mentality that we have to watch out for. That's all. That's my take on what went down there. So, okay. What's next? World Series, top of the eighth, 5-3. Just so you know.
What is it?
5-3 Diamondbacks against Texas Rangers. Top of the eighth. Okay. What's next? Hope you all liked that little presentation. So, and maybe so, Red Storm. But what I'm saying is, anybody showing up, we should try to interact with them in a logical, peaceful, loving way. And if he is a troll, try to just send him out. But when you do it in an act of aggression, or when you just that, then you're feeding the troll. You're getting him exactly what he wanted. So if that's the case, we just have to watch it. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, okay, and maybe, yeah, and the fact that he has so many, maybe, yeah. So, all right, where are we at? Oh, hey, did you just get in here? Daryl just shows up tardy and tries to pretend he's been here the whole time. Where is it?
I don't feel tardy.
Okay. Oh, here's something I wanted to talk about. I hate labels. I've talked about this many times before. When I was growing up, they called me Jewish. Then I started reading the Bible. They called me Christian. Now I'm, I guess, what's that type of Jew that's complete full circle? I don't know. And then, you start talking truth. They call you truther. You start talking, there's names, labels. I'm sick of labels. And so what I decided was, what if we came up with our own label, not ones that they made? And so I brought this up on a show. Jen's in the chat. She was there, and Brian and Steve were there. And a lot of people may haven't seen it, so I'm going to bring it back out, and I'll ask the current audience what you think. So here we go. This was from, I think this was last year on the Friday Night Show. I've been having this thing where I don't like the names that they give us. I don't like truther or awake, or even, some of these labels of like religions and stuff. I don't go for any of those. On one stream, Brian, he called himself a critical thinker. So with that in mind, we were trying to come up with something, and I thought I'd ask you guys. So what do you think about for either hat or shirt or some idea like this? So The basic idea is we call ourselves critical listeners, learners, and thinkers. And then we could have some kind of
We're gonna
logo.
call ourselves a bunch of We're gonna call ourselves a bunch of clips.
Ceiling fan. You even got a logo for
Well,
it.
yeah, and
Oh,
see, like
that's
there's a person inside like the government. I
Oh,
don't
is
know,
that
it's
what
in
it
progress.
is?
I
That
just
what
thought
it
I'd
is?
ask.
Vagina.
No.
Vagina. The clip.
Oh wow. Wow.
Never mind. Never mind.
Satellite tracking continues.
So what do y'all think? Put a one in the chat if you think I should make that as a hat or a shirt. Put a 2 in the chat if you think I'm absolutely lost my mind, like I ever had it. And put a 3 in the I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I thought I was perfectly fine. I was a person in the firmament. It was obvious to me. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Well, I guess we can get to our main presentation. And let's see. So the main presentation that I was doing had to do with James Bond. And why did this come about? A lot of who knows how these things happen. And so I got into where I was watching I think they're all free right now. We have Amazon Prime and they're all free right now. And so, it's something I can put on while I'm doing other things and kind of go back to my childhood and stuff. The first James Bond I ever saw was The Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore. And I think I was like, 12 years old or something. And I wanted a Lotus Esprit. That was it. Because he has this really cool Lotus Esprit, but his turns into a submarine. Like he drives right off a pier and it turns into a submarine. And, but in any case, these movies, they were a pretty big deal when I was growing up. And there's a thing that came about that, well, one of the things is we obviously know there's a Mandela effect. People have talked about with Moonraker. But what I found interesting was this kind of came and found me, is that the movies, obviously, they came from the book series by Ian Fleming. And clickety-click, we'll go here. And so the first book was Dr. No. Let's see, where is this? We'll get in there. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? Stop it. All right. Where'd you go? Oh, you're way over there. Okay. I talk to tabs like they're alive. Sorry. Okay. Clickety click. We'll go here again. And then there. And then there. Okay. So Dr. No. So it was a book in 1958 by Ian Fleming. And the reason I looked into this was when the one that everyone talks about, Moonraker, because of the whole Dolly Braces thing. I looked into Moonraker and I found out that wasn't the movie they were going to be making. They had originally going to make one of the other James Bond movies, and Star Wars came out. This is 1977. And it was such a huge hit that they shelved the Bond movie they were going to make, and they made Moonraker. Now, Moonraker as the book has nothing to do with outer space. It's about missiles on the ground and shooting things. They are shooting down like some U.S. rockets that are supposed to go to space kind of thing. But it didn't happen in space with space shuttles and all that. That's just because they wanted to chime in on the whole Star Wars thing. And what that did was I started looking at some of the other books to see how they changed. And then this came along. And we need to bring out this gal. Where is she? Here she is.
Should get fired over this, right?
Because in Dr. No, the major bad guy, he's he steals from this like mob. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into the stories, but where is it here? Bond discovers that Dr. No is also working with the Soviets. Of course, it's always the Russians. And they've built an elaborate underground facility where he can massage missiles, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He had previously been a member. Try again. My tongue's tripping over my lips. He had previously been a member of a Chinese Tong criminal organization, but he stole a large amount of money from their treasury. He was captured. The leaders cut his hands off as a sign of punishment for theft. And in the movie, he does have these fake hands. And they ordered him shot, and they thought they shot him through the heart. Here's where it gets interesting. Because Dr. No's heart was on the right side of his body, because he suffers from dextrocardia, the bullet missed the heart and he survived. And when you and my wife has treated someone that had dextrocardia, where the heart is on the right side. And I remember, as a lot of people, the heart was on the left side. That's why you put your hand over your heart. In current reality, the heart has only been in the middle. And we have another moment of someone should get fired. Where is she?
Someone should get fired over this, right?
Because, oh wait, that's us. This. Now, my computer's breaking, like I told you.
We believe in going.
Oh, jeez. All right. We believe in going the extra mile to make sure our boots were filled with cow manure. Something. There we go. Okay. This movie, one of the best movies ever, is my favorites. There's this shootout between Clint Eastwood and Ramon. And Ramon is famous for, he shoots with a rifle, and he never misses, and he kills the man because he aims for the heart. And he shoots and kills Clint Eastwood. But he gets back up, and nobody understands why. And so every time he gets up, he shoots him again, and he falls down again. And until he does the reveal after he shot all of his bullets. The guy that only shoots in the heart, all of his shots were neatly clustered on the left side of Clint Eastwood's body. Now, the entire premise of that character is he shoots for the heart. Well, he should have shot in the middle, but he has the same reality that I do, that it was over on the left. And that's why Ian Fleming wrote in his book that his villain had this dextrocardia, and he survived the shot because it was on the wrong side of the body. All of that, none of that works if it's always been in the middle.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
And scene. Right, anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Burrows are real, 18 degrees Fahrenheit here. Oh, birds. I don't know why I saw burrows. Oh, and this? Same thing. Look at these two.
Someone should get fired over this, right?
So I came across this show, and this lady is very confused. And I'm sure glad that Lily Tomlin helps her.
This pain in my red blood thing.
And it's on that side.
Thank you. I wasn't sure.
Uh-oh. Someone's getting fired.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
Okay. So that was my entry into the quantum effect for this week. Now, bottom of the eighth, still 5-3 for anyone that's curious. Okay, so let's get into James Bond. So James Bond, he was one of my favorite things. You could always go there and expect a few things. You could expect gadgets. You could expect chase scenes and explosions. You could expect that every time he'll discover the evil person's lair, by the end of the movie, they just blow the shit out of it. Like there's nothing left. And so those were kind of the things. And then, he beds women along the way, but, they never showed it. So that was nice. But Nowadays, I mean, you'd get full on probably, but that's the thing. He came out in a time when, I guess, being a man whore was more acceptable. I don't know, because he I looked it up because you can do this stuff. And well, first let's see here. Let me bring this up. Clickety click. We'll go here. Oops, wrong button. This button and that button, then this button and that button. Clickety click. There we go. I think I've got that right. So the first film came out was Dr. No, and Connery's cool, but don't forget I grew up starting with Roger Moore, so he's kind of my guy, even though I do like the Sean. He was pretty cool at this. But you know, we've already started off. It's James Bond. He's looking pretty cool with the gun and stuff. And then now we've got like naked women, and we're already setting the precedent. Then we've got James Bond is back in Russia with Love. And once again, you got, you know, naked women and a cat fight even with naked women. And I know they're not completely naked, but they're very suggestive. I mean, what's going on here? So I think there's even a little nipple slip there. But in any case, then you get to this, you got Goldfinger, Bond is back in action. And don't forget, they had very suggestive names too, like the Honor Blackman plays the role of Pussy Galore. I mean, they had fun with these, okay? But it was a different time and era, right? He's very misogynistic and all that stuff now. Then you got this one, Thunderball. And you got what? Look Up, Look Down, and then, of course, Look Out. He's got something going on here. You see the pattern. And then we got this one. I mean, now it's just getting ridiculous. And so as it progresses, now you got this guy. Now, apparently he jumped in the role and he did a decent job, I guess. I don't know, but never heard from him again. So he didn't want to do anymore. The audience didn't like him or something. I don't know. I haven't gone back and watched that one. I'll have to do that. Then you got Sean Connery comes back again in Diamonds Are Forever. And again, he's got, you know, some action going on. and when you look at the actual, when you look at the numbers of women, Roger Moore topped the charts. He had the most illicit encounters. I watched one movie, I forget which one it is. He beds 4 women and different women in that movie. And some of them, like, as soon as he's done, he either sends them off to be arrested or he gets into a fight and kills them, you know? And it's like, but first he made sure he had sex with them. And so I think, let's see, we got Roger Moore wins by he bedded 19 women total in his movies. Sean Connery gets 15 that he did, and he played 6 films, you know. Pierce Brosnan takes 3rd place. He had 9 women. But you notice as it's moving on, it's getting less and less appropriate for James Bond to just be sleeping around. And let's see, Sean Connery even enjoyed a menage a trois with 2 gypsy women.
No way.
Yeah. So Bond sleeps with, that's what it says. He sleeps with 52 women over 22 films. He averages 2.36 women, which is funny. And let's see, where is it? And then you get to see how we're changing with the times. Daniel Craig, he has the least action. He's only intimate with 2 women in his 2 films. And yeah. And so then let's see. And then Timothy Dalton, George Lazenby, probably, I don't know if they had any. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then it gets really weird. Excuse me. So, yeah, see, here's Roger Moore, the heyday, where he's just having sex with anything that doesn't move. And then in this one, same thing, Man with the Golden Gun. It's kind of a dumb one. This is the one that I started for me. This one's crazy. They have so many different, they blow up this place, they blow up this place. It's just like nuts. And then this is the Lotus Esprit, but it's only his model that goes underwater apparently. And you got your symbolisms, your one eyes and your pyramid and your, whatever. And then you move on from there. You go to Moonraker. Of course, that's a famous thing with they brought back Jaws, and Dolly has no braces now and makes no sense. And then you get into still, I mean, come on, it's right in your face. He's a player, Then you get to Octopussy, which I think is an entire island of women. And I don't know, that's pretty suggestiveness going on here. And then things start to go a little south. So now you got View to a Kill, and I'll just leave that on the screen. I'm not going to say much. Jen's in here. She can help me with that one. And you can see that things are starting, like the women are getting more aggressive. They're getting stronger. They're no longer just there for James Bond to beat around or slap around. And if you don't believe me on that, I have proof. I've got this that I put together for you before this is the last thing maybe my computer will make. Was this. Granted, not all of those were corrections. Some of those were attention, I guess. Right? No, wait. Is this is a correction? That's attention? I don't know. Correction? I don't know. But see, you can't do that anymore. You can't do that. He's no longer allowed to do this. I don't know. I spent some time on that, so I had to play it twice. But yeah, and so here's the thing. I started looking into this. Let me go back here. Clickety click. And here and here and here. Okay. So when you start looking at this progression, it starts to get less women and more just a dude out on the town kind of thing with really strong women around him, to where we get to this like ridiculous movie. Because when what's his name? What's this guy? Daniel Craig comes in. Everyone's like, oh, he's the new Bond. He doesn't have all the gadgets and it's more realistic and stuff. Meanwhile, his biggest movie, they have this ridiculous torture scene where they strip him down. They have a certain part of his anatomy hanging below it's been cut out in the base of the chair. And his testicles are hanging out, okay? And then this guy takes some kind of weird whip or something and smacks him. How is this James Bond? What happened to him betting women and having cars that turn into to submarines? Now I got to watch some S&M weird masochistic thing where this guy on the right abuses this naked guy in a chair, and how big are his balls that he can have him hang out and this guy can hit him? Is it not cold in that room? I mean, he is James Bond. They must be huge. But how gross was this? I couldn't watch this garbage. And then what do? They realize that he can't continue. They end up killing James Bond, right? In this newest one. And they bring in this gal. And she's now going to supposedly be the new James Bond, because we have to make everything a woman. And I say, nay, not everything has to become a woman. Hulk is now a woman. I don't know, they had Thor as a woman last year. All these characters, everything is turning into women, right? Isn't Black Panther now a woman, and Black Panther? And so I was saying to myself, okay, this empire is obviously dying in the theaters, because how do you have a James Bond that can't talk, like misogynistic to a woman, or slap her on the ass, or smack her in the face, and bet a bunch of women? If you take all that away, then you're left with the woke James Bond. And I thought, okay, let's take this a step further. If she's going to be the new James Bond, what if back in the day they made this movie, what if they make it with her? It doesn't look the same to me. It's just, the apple loses its shine, right? This is the Sean Connery version, and this is the Shauna Lynch version, which, by the way, she's a cis, and I apologize. I don't know what that means. I refuse to look it up, and I'm sorry if that makes me seem insensitive. I don't know what that means. There's too many new things for me to learn, and I don't understand why on certain people we're supposed to know what their sexual attractions are, and certain people were not. We were discussing football, and I asked how many coaches have actually been women. And the first one that comes up when you look into it, it's a woman, and she was in the Super Bowl, I guess. But they say she's a openly gay lesbian. Now, why do you have to put that in the article? Excuse me. Can't she just be a woman? Why do I have to know what her sexual preference is? How come other people don't do that? Why don't we do an interview? And this is, I don't know, Joe Seisman from the Buffalo Bills. He actually likes women, but he does deal a little bit with men. I mean, why do we have to know certain people's sexual or whatever you're doing, do it. But the fact that we have to know these things is, I don't understand this at all. And if that makes me insensitive, I'm sorry. But I there's too many words. I don't know all the letters anymore. You do you, I'll do me. So, but yeah. So, anyways, and Voy just showed up. Voyage, you're late.
I don't feel tardy.
Okay. Voy's always tardy. Okay. What do we have here? Where are we at here? Okay, so we're back to James Bond. So, let me go back here. And I understand all these movies and stuff, they help with the agenda pushing, the indoctrination, whatever you want to call it. I get it. I'm not completely immune to that. But clickety click here. Okay. All right. So we covered this, and then her version. Oh, and don't even get me started about this guy. His name is Q. So, just so you know, don't even get me started. If you guys want to know about Q, I did a video on Q. I think it's going back 2 years or more. Because I studied up on it and then I got out of it. But I knew enough to be able to discuss it very well. I think I knew it better than Sean Hannity. He used to be able to recite his thing. But I'm looking for it. This is me stalling. Can't find it. Where are you? I just saw it. Talk amongst yourselves. And where is it? That is so bizarre. I know it didn't disappear. It's here.
I haven't got time for this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
I can't find it. That is so bizarre. Okay, one last time through. It's not there.
Melanie, it's all your fault.
I'm not seeing it. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. We'll bring it up another way. I am that talented. I can figure this out. So we'll go here. We'll click here.
You're not there yet?
I'm still not there. I couldn't find it. So I had to go on my channel. And then I found it. Okay. So go back to this. We'll go to the present screen. Clickety click here and there. And one more there. Okay. There. There it is. This is a story about Q. When we last left Attorney General Barr, whose father's the one that got Jeffrey Epstein his first job at a school when he had no experience, had sent him to jail, and he left his $77 million mansion, which he paid $10 for in New York City, where he was abruptly suicided by someone, to go after more child sex trafficking rings, including Nexium with Allison Mack. While they're still looking for the people who took Madeline, the island, which may or may not have had real buildings and may or may not have burnt down, all the kids that sat on buckets have now been rescued into the comfort and joy and shipped off to somewhere safe. Trust the plan. Meanwhile, A.G. Barr is going after Loretta Lynch, Andrew McCabe, and his lover Lisa Page, and these three clowns. Anybody remember what happened to Comey or Mueller? What about Seth Rich? Does anyone know anything about him other than he's a horrible dresser and he likes America? His emails, which President Trump apparently has, because Seth Rich gave them to Julian Assange, and that was transferred to President Trump via soccer ball on live television. But unfortunately, as we've now found out, Sean Hannity may have lost all those. But never fear, there was a copy on Carlos Danger's laptop. And what about the letters that were handed out at the funeral, including one to Vice President Pence? No one seems to care anymore. Does this mean Hillary's still not going to jail? Trust the plan. And has anyone ever seen this child again? Does this woman have anywhere to eat anymore? And do we even care? And does this woman know that she's being called a loser yet? Has Kamala Harris figured out what race she is or when she actually smoked pot? And what in the heck is going on? What is going on? For real. Yep. Why do we no longer care that if OJ killed his wife or not, even though he announces it so many times? Why have you never understood the Q map or the Q clock? You know I'm right. You do know I'm right. Why can no painter from the Renaissance paint a baby that doesn't look like a demon child? Creepy. Why do people not believe that the media is controlled by just a few companies? Is it because they still believe that there's a secondary camera taking a picture of the ISS, or that this car's flying around in space and its tires are fine, or that this looks like the Earth if you just change the color to orange? Probably no one will, because they still believe in the media is not faking it to them, and they walk around in very hypocritical stances. The aliens have tried to tell us these things, but no one's listening. Will anyone ever read what's on the box of the mask that they're putting on their faces? Will they ever look into the side effects on shots that they get in their arm? Is anyone ever going to try to take the moon lander underwater to see if it actually can hold against the vacuums of space or water pressure? These and other nightmarish things will be revealed to you in the upcoming weeks and months and years of this ridiculous soap opera that they put on and tell us is real life. So there you go. And what's interesting is 2 years ago, and yet a lot of those stories are still accurate right now. Isn't that wild? They don't even bother to change the script. We're still running on the same storyline from 2 years ago. So, all right. Is that okay? We got to get back and finish the James Bond things. What do I have left on these tabs here? So go up here and here and here and here. So I hope that filled you in on what's happening with the letter Q. It's like Sesame Street. Okay, next. Oh, yeah, here's the list. If you do it, you can do it Wikipedia and the people that they bed. And again, like I said, here's got, well, this looks like that's Sean Connery. He had 4 women there. So he's making good time. But in any case, it's a lot of nonsense and a lot of silliness. But I just thought it was interesting. You know, here's an article. James Bond was basically a rapist in the early films, says No Time to Die director. See, that's why they killed him off. They're just like done with him because he can't live in the current woke world existence that we live in. And just so you know, they also made a planet, a 007 planet. It's out there. somewhere. Anyways, he's been named a planet. Okay, and I think that's it. Oh, did you know besides Moonraker, in all these movies, Dr. No, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever, Moonraker, Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and Die Another Day, space and satellites in each one of those. Again, it's more there. He was brilliant at pushing along a narrative throughout generations, from the 60s all the way up to current day until they killed him. So just more of that. And then when you actually look into the origins of it, it's kind of interesting. Of course, everything seems to start with the occult, and you get this, Uncle Fester showing up all the time. But apparently he had a relationship with Aleister Crowley, and you can read through this, but the whole 007 and all that, there's different reasons as to why, but they say, according to most people, this guy named John Dees, that was his code name for himself, and he specialized in like the same thing, like the occult and dark arts and stuff. So just like everything, oh yeah, see, they showed you this scene. Isn't this sickening? Just like everything else, it's got its connections, because even though it's entertainment, it's also programming at the same time. You only get one. You only get one with the other. You don't get one without the other. Hello. And then James Bond's film is an echo of today's culture wars. And they just basically, they decided to take him out because he's no longer current in our time. And so he's gone. So rest in peace, James Bond. I don't know. Do I need to cover any of these other things? I think we'll hold off on all this stuff. Okay. And then to go along, here's what's the World Series at. Bottom of the ninth, still 5-3. To go along with the can women do anything? There's this.
And at the top of the second half, it's 16-9. Easton leads the scoring with 4.
And that's why she commands $7,000 a year. These gals sure do make it look difficult.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
That was brought to you by the WNBA. So, where am I going with this? The counterculture or cancel culture that we live in, all these things are being pushed artificially, in my opinion. And part of it is to break apart the family unit. It started when I was a kid. It started when they came out with like TV dinners and microwaves and stuff. And then you had the feminist movement where women were like trying to be their own person and not be with a man. And you get to the stage we're at now, where society basically says, unless you're equal to a man, unless you're accomplished enough like a man, you have no value to society. Being a stay-at-home mother and taking care of the family unit, that's not as desired anymore. They've broken that apart. We've learned to live in 2-income families. Well, some people you really have to, the way the economy is right now. But way before they crashed this thing in the last few years, they've built a system to where women put off having a family or being a mom so they can get their own career and then decide. And then when they actually have children, they can still keep working. And they've messed with the entire idea behind it. And I know it sounds, maybe you can say I'm misogynistic and all that, but there are different roles, at least throughout the animal kingdom. And I believe the way I was brought up, you have a man that takes care of the family. You have a man that goes out and he supports the family. He protects the family. And he builds the house for the family to live in. He purchases it. He helps. He gets them in a safe place. In addition to that, you have the wife, you have the woman, you have someone that is there for the children, for the family, to nurture the family, to feed the family, to help grow, to help teach the family. Because we've gotten to a position where if both parents work and we send the kids off to school, whatever the indoctrination in camp, that's what our children are going to learn. And it used to be the parents would help teach the children on the ways of the world. And that's all been changed now. And so now you have a system to where's the nurturer? I mean, we have different roles. When you're a child and you're hurt, you don't run to dad, you go to mom. She's the nurturer, she's the comforter, she's been there for you. That's what a wife, a mother, they make a home. They take a house and they make it a home. And if you take her out of that, who's there to do that? Now you put the kids into where the system is raising them more. And trust me, I'm saying this from someone that's done that. My kids were different, they went to school, they went to daycare, all that. I was working on my own. I was a single dad. And so my kids had a lot of time away from me. But here's the thing. It's part of the society. We've broken up the family unit. They're making it damn near impossible for children to buy a home or have children because they can't afford it. But even if they could, they've separated people so much that the woman feels that she's not successful unless she has a job on top of the man. Now, every situation is different. There might be a reason that she needs to, but I'm generalizing society as a general. The woman is supposed to, according to society, go to work just like the man. They want both parents working cradle to grave. And that's not the way it was set up. And the only way we can change it is our own selves. We can change our family, and from there, it'll potentially grow. But we're quickly running, if we're not already there, into that whole movie Children of Men, if you've seen that, where people aren't having children anymore. And we're getting really close to those days. I know people are saying that there's certain things that they can put into you that can sterilize you. Yeah, maybe, but they don't even need to. They've priced children out of existence. They've convinced women that they don't mean anything unless they're working and they're not at home having children. So they're doing it without having to shoot anybody up with it. All we can do is speak our truth. We can change who we are ourselves and try to help the people immediately around us. And maybe with God's grace, that will continue and blossom through a bigger area. Because make no mistake, if we are in the end times, everyone's waiting for the Antichrist rising and all that. Well, first of all, I think that spirit's already here. You can look around everywhere and see that. But to make no mistake on this, the church, and don't get caught up on a religion, the faith, the people that believe in God, that exponentially grows at the same time. So you might think that you're on these channels or wherever you are speaking your truth and no one's listening, but that's not true. You just might not know who you reach. That's not for us to decide. That's for God to decide. But make no mistake about it, it is growing. People are waking up to the lies of the world and the true existence of God. And that's all we can hope for. And so keep doing what you do in your own way, whatever that is to you, to continue to speak the truth. Don't be ashamed of the truth. Don't attack, but speak boldly. Come from a place of boldness. Because if you're standing in truth, that's all you can do is speak boldly. And people will listen or they won't. And that's not up to you. That's on them. But maybe, just maybe, you've planted that seed in their head. And who knows, a week from now, a month from now, 6 months, a year from now, maybe they'll listen to it and they'll look into it themselves. And that's how it started with me, and that's how it probably started with most everyone that's watching this show. So I guess that's all I have for today. That's like 2.5 hours in and it's the bottom of the ninth, and it's tied up. So we might have to go watch some sports ball after this is over. But I just want to say thank you all for being here. I love your company. I enjoy hearing from you. Continue to write me emails, ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. I have a snail mail account if you want to send me a pen pal card. And all those links and everything are in my channel description, addresses and ways to find me and contact me. So thank you again, everyone that showed up and everyone that's listening to this and all my supporters. I truly, truly love you, and I appreciate all the help that I get. And just hearing from you and coming to these shows, and I'll watch afterwards and I'll read the chats. And it's such a loving family, and I do appreciate you all for being here and helping me lift my spirit so I can keep doing this with you all every Friday. Having said that, I'm losing my voice, so I think I'm going to go. But please, Father in heaven, watch over us and guide us through these times. Send all the angels. Bring the Comforter. Comfort us with the Holy Spirit. Jesus, sit with us. We need everyone right now. Help us through these times. We're hurting, we're scared, we're tired, we're exhausted, we're on our last nerve. And we need your help right now, Father. Come down, help us all. Help us deal with this so we can guide people to find you with love, with compassion, with forgiveness, and with patience. Thank you, Father, for giving us the lessons of patience. I need more of them, even if I don't want them. I thank you for all of my blessings, and all of our blessings continue to help us through these times. We ask this in Jesus' name, to our Father in heaven. Amen. All right. Anybody still here? 120, you lovely people. You're awesome. So, with that, you get this guy.
Class is dismissed.
And God willing, we'll all be here again, at least next Friday, to do this again. And I thank you all again for being here. And have a wonderful weekend. Happy Sabbath. And let's see you again soon.
Jesus Christ, your comforter.
And may Jesus Christ your comforter. I love you. Good night.